I usually have my pre-workout meal around 12:30, and then I get to the gym between 1 and 1:30. So I make sure I have at least 30 minutes to digest and then get into my Stairmaster session, which is just 5 minutes right now, and some foam rolling and then warming up. So by the time I get into training, it's probably been about 45 minutes to an hour since I've eaten, which seems to work really well for me in terms of having that energy from the meal, being able to utilize those carbs, quick glucose from the fruit, the honey, and then also be able to digest it properly so I'm not feeling weighed down or overloaded during my workout. One thing about Golds is they recently changed their rules and they're no longer allowing tripods. Now that rule was posted all over every single wall just a day or two after I recorded my entire workout with a tripod. So I believe I may have been the cause, and I'm sorry for anyone else who works out at Golds and was inconvenienced by my tripod being in the way. I apologize. I know it's a fairly small gym, but we all gotta eat. So I have to get creative, and I wanna shout out a couple people with this. So first off, Iron Infidel is this awesome company that has these really great stainless steel water bottles that keep it cold. Literally, I swear, it'll keep it cold for like 24 hours. I put like ice water in there one day and the next day it was still cold. I love it. I believe it holds 2 liters, which is great because I usually drink 3. So I usually will drink this through the day and then fill it up another time and drink half of it, and then have the next half the next day and then fill it up again. So it's a nice little rotation. But what I love about it is that it has these pockets. So this pocket here is pretty big. You can put your keys in it. And then this pocket here, which is blocked by my GoPro, is really meant to hold a phone. So it's big enough to slip in my iPhone 12 with a massive case on it. But what I do is I put the back of one of these like magnetic snap clips that I have for my GoPro in this pocket, and then I can put this on it and I have a quote, not a tripod that can go on top of things, and I can film my workouts. So thank you, Sheila, for not only looking after my hydration with this awesome gift, but for also providing me a makeshift tripod in the gym. Shout out to Sheila. She is one of my closest friends and clients, and she's probably training clients right now, probably with this on the TV at some point, which is super exciting to think about. But just have to get creative. I was using it as an excuse to not record in the gym, and I would sit there and say, I know I love YouTubing, I know I love recording my workouts, but I just can't. I just don't have options. And I realized I'm the only one putting this barrier in front of myself. If I want something bad enough, I can get creative. And I was pretty stoked when I figured this out. And on top of that, the back of these clips are magnetic, like I mentioned, so you can also snap them onto like equipment, or if you have like beams in your gym and they're out of the way, which is super nice and polite for everyone else, but still allows you to record your workout if, like me, your job somewhat depends on being able to share your workouts and show clients how to execute exercises properly. So I am currently running Jeff Nippard's full body program, which has been a really nice change of pace. I'm back in more hypertrophy style training, which I enjoy, but challenging myself and my recovery capacity a bit by doing a full body workout. Really enjoying it. This day is delt specific, so starting with overhead barbell presses. Strict form here, except usually on the past rep or two I might get a little bit of drive through my legs here, but really controlling the eccentric on the way down. Next in this workout, I'm moving into a neutral seated cable row.
So in the past, I've talked about using more of a shoulder width row for cables because it tends to put the lats in better alignment for most people. That said, I have been enjoying more of a narrow grip lately, as I feel like I can get into my like thoracolumbar fascia more, or that like mid back where the lats tie in and the traps meet as well. Also, shout out to Bree Marshall standing next to me, who I competed with at Nationals and is an absolute beast and has recently taken over as fitness manager at Golds. Next, moving into leaning cable laterals or Egyptian laterals, where the cable is actually running between my legs. Puts it in a really good position to target the lateral delts. So if you have trouble connecting with your lateral delts, make sure that you have good alignment, and perhaps trying a movement like this where the cable is in really good alignment with the muscle fibers of the lateral delt and you have that constant tension from the cable throughout. Try it out and see if you connect with your delts a little bit more effectively here. Next, I'm moving into dumbbell lateral raises. So this one is not technically on this day, it's on the next day, but I'm gonna be switching up my training tomorrow to work out with my buddy Tom. So I wanted to make sure that I get in my delt volume for the week with these lateral raises. On lateral raises, you wanna drive out and slightly in front of the torso and limit the elevation of your scapula, which comes from the traps. Moving into some bicep work with incline bicep curls. On an incline, I do like to have the seat pretty upright as you're still getting that full extension, and it tends to put the shoulder in a bit better position than if you were laying back on a bench. I find that a lot of people develop discomfort in their anterior delt and rotator cuff when they open this movement up a little bit too much to the point where their shoulder isn't able to stabilize effectively. Next, hit some glutes here. We're gonna use some abductors, abductors. So with these, I like to scoot forward to make sure that I'm not driving out against my kneecaps. It's gonna depend on your height and your leg length, but I find this puts me in a really good position, and I allow a little bit of torso movement here to make sure I can really drive through my glutes and fully abduct at the hip. To cap off the leg training for this full body session, I'm gonna move into some seated calf raises. Ego is something you need to leave at the door here. Really focus on that full range of motion, getting a big stretch to the calves and then driving up hard all the way through the toes with every single rep. Take your ego out of calf training and I promise you will see growth. Next, moving into some push-ups. So this has been a fun addition. There's not a lot of body weight work in bodybuilding training for the most part, at least in modern bodybuilding training. So it's always fun to challenge things like push-ups and pull-ups to really see what that just raw strength looks like, and control through the shoulders as well. And lastly, capping off this workout with like alternating side to side sit-ups. What's programmed in this exercise is actually bicycle crunches, but I don't connect with those very well, and I tend to catch the front of my hip quite a bit. So I like these because I can maintain the tension in my core throughout the movement with that stabilization through keeping the feet anchored.
So I've showered, it is now 3 o'clock, and this is typically when I have my post-workout meal, between now and 3:30. I'm not super strict about getting it right after I work out, because I often find that my digestion isn't great during that time. One of the biggest things I've learned about my digestion personally in this process is I don't do very well having a lot of water with meals or very close to meals. So because I do like to drink probably around 1 liter during my workout, I don't do well eating right after that. I need to just kind of chill for a minute, allow my body to get back into more of a parasympathetic state, allow it to process through some of that water, and then I can move into my post-workout meal. I'm going to have yogurt with kefir and protein and blueberries and some seeds as well. So flax seeds, chia, sunflowers, and hemp hearts. And I do like to top it with a little bit of honey and a little bit of salt because I do have a sweet tooth. Since I've been eating this way, I know it's changed over the past few weeks, and I've talked a lot about some of the different things that I've tried in terms of my routine, my supplements, different food sources, and now I'm able to branch out a little bit more than I was before. Whereas before, I was having digestive issues almost regardless of what I ate and had to be really strict. Now I'm to that stage where my gut is functioning a lot more effectively and I can reincorporate things again. And that's a really important stage to move into so that you don't live in a state of long-term restriction and psychological fear around your food. So I'm really grateful to be in this state. I really never thought that I would say that I have bowel movements every single day. I think there's only been one day in the past 3 weeks where I haven't had one, and although sometimes they're a little bit more loose and sometimes maybe a little bit more hard, I know, TMI for some of you, but it is really important to think about. In general, it's pretty normal, pretty regular, and way more regular than I've ever been in my entire life, so I would say we're definitely headed in the right direction. I think the biggest obstacle in the past couple of weeks has been pretty persistent acid reflux. I've trialed using betaine. Over the past few days, I haven't used it at all, and I haven't noticed much difference with that, regardless of whether I use it or not, at least in the past couple of weeks. Although it did work initially to help with the gas and bloating, it's not really consistently helping with my reflux at this point. What I find is if I drink coffee from a French press, that seems to make it a lot worse. I can't even think about having like cold brew or anything like that. But it also has a lot to do with my water intake. So if I drink a lot of water with a meal or around a meal, I always have acid reflux. If I drink a lot of water right after my workout, I always have acid reflux. I find that I handle water really well at the beginning of the day. So I always start the day with a liter. I make sure that I get in about a liter during my workout, and then usually between that time, between the time I wake up and the time that I go work out, I'll have another liter. Towards the end of the day, I probably don't have much more than half a liter after 3 p.m., only because it tends to trigger my acid reflux pretty bad. So I don't know the science behind that, but I found that it's working pretty well for me, and it's working to a degree that isn't making me completely give up coffee. So that is a big win, and I'm still getting my water intake in. So I'm gonna have this post-workout meal now, gonna do some work, and then later I will go for a walk. It is now 4:30 and I've written a couple of client plans. So this is an example of what it would look like. This is a guy I've been working with for several months now, and he is due for a new program now that he's ready to push up to 5 days a week. So I went ahead and rearranged everything, split up his volume a little bit, and added in a new posterior day. So that's really cool, and it's always super rewarding for me as a coach when someone asks to be pushed a little bit harder. You know, a lot of times there's this balance between I'm going to be pushing you. We also have to set goals that are realistic based on everything else that you're trying to accomplish in life. And for him, he's super busy. He has a very busy work schedule, and he's also at university right now. So getting in the gym 4 days a week was initially a big challenge and a little bit out of reach. And now he's to the point where he's consistently going 4 days a week and so ready for the 5th day. And it's really exciting to see that like drive pick up within him. So I just finished this. My mom called earlier, so I'm gonna take advantage of this sunshine and a little bit of warmth that we're having here in North Carolina and go for a walk. I'm gonna grab my weighted vest, rocking my new Jordan Peterson shirt, which I'm super excited about, and I'm gonna call my mom while I walk. guys, we have sold our couch. This is my current movie setup, which works pretty well. Hello.
Hey, beautiful bean.
I miss you.
I miss you so much. Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for watching this full day in the life, full day of eating on a training day. Life's about to get pretty crazy for me. Dee and I will be moving across the country to Arizona in 10 days. So I'm going to share that journey with you guys. It's going to be an awesome transition. There's going to be a lot happening between now and then, having to pack up everything, move thousands of miles across the country, and I'm excited. It's going to be a great adventure, and there's going to be a lot of changes. I'm going to have to find a new gym, going to have to maintain my routine as much as possible while on the road and while moving into a new city with no furniture. So I'm excited to share it with you. So please be sure to like and subscribe so you can follow the journey. And also want to announce that I have released a new training program. It is a full body 12-week training program split into 3 separate blocks. It also includes nutrition recommendations, supplements, and cardio as well. And this is a program not only meant to improve your fitness, build muscle through a hypertrophy focused training program for beginners and intermediate lifters, but also to develop the routines, habits, and mental fortitude that you need to sustain progress long term. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I will put a link down in the description below if you would like to purchase your copy at the launching sale price. I really appreciate your support and following over the years, and I'm excited to share this new journey for you. So now it is nearly 10 p.m. I am fried. It's been a great day. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. Now I'm gonna go to bed. So have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and I will catch you next time.